provided by Isha Training Solutions, JMeter beginner to master with Groovy, Dynatrace, Kubernetes, Docker, InfluxDB, Grafana, Jenkins, and BlazeMeter, as well as this training is in line with the certifications for JMeter provided by BlazeMeter, guys. You will be able to clear the BlazeMeter, JMeter intro as well as JMeter Pro certifications very easily after the completion of this course. So before we start the demo session, so let me call out few ground rules for this session, and also I'll introduce myself. So my name is Chandra. Am I not audible? Someone is mentioning that I'm not audible. Can anyone confirm?
I can hear you.
Okay. So Srinivas, I think you can please check your audio device. Everyone else can hear me. Thank you. Okay, so a brief introduction about myself. My name is Chandra, and I have 14 years of experience in performance testing and engineering. I have experience on different tools like JMeter, Load Runner, NeoLoad, and observability tools like Dynatrace, AppDynamics, etc. Also, I have been providing training to multiple batches for more than 3 years now, and have provided, sessions to corporates as well. So every now and then we conduct multiple batches as well as we conduct the free workshops from Isha Training Solutions. So I welcome you all to this training on behalf of Isha Training Solutions. Each and every session is going to be recorded. Okay. So you all are going to have the lifetime access to the videos. So a humble request, please be on mute when the session is in progress. However, whenever you have any queries, please unmute yourself and ask your query. I'll be sharing my screen, so I won't be able to see any chat messages, or if you have raised your hand. So kindly unmute yourself and ask your query. You can interrupt me at any point of time, guys. Okay, any queries, anyone? Clear. So let's get started, everyone. As I told you, with this certification, you will be able to clear the JMeter. With this training, you will be able to clear the JMeter certifications also, like the BlazeMeter JMeter Intro and JMeter Pro. So let's get started. Let me start sharing my screen. I hope my screen should be visible to all of you. Can anyone confirm?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you. So you all would have got access to this particular link. It was shared in the WhatsApp group as well. So this particular link contains the complete details of this training, which is being provided by Isha Training Solutions. So the name of this exclusive training is JMeter Beginner to Master with Groovy, Dynatrace, Kubernetes, Docker, InfluxDB, Grafana, Jenkins, and BlazeMeter. Once you complete this course, you will be able to successfully clear the BlazeMeter JMeter Intro as well as JMeter Pro certifications. We are going to cover in details. So the target audience, whoever is not aware of JMeter also, okay, by taking this course, you will become a master in JMeter at the end of the course. The duration of the course is going to be around 45 to 50 hours. We are covering so many things. We'll go through the course content, and I have already introduced myself, and you can, see my previous sample videos on this particular link also. The sessions will be conducted from Monday to Friday, 7:45 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. IST hours. Okay, so it will be Monday to Friday, guys. IST hours 7:45 to 8:45 a.m. Coming to the course content. So over here you have a link in the curriculum. So you will be able to find the entire course content which is going to be covered as part of this particular training. So I'll take you through the course content today as well, guys. Okay, so let us go through the course content. So as people would be joining this training and some would be aware of performance testing and some would be completely new to performance testing. So I'm going to give an introduction to performance testing as well. Along with that, in the group already we have shared the list of 17 videos which you can really refer to. They are very useful from understanding performance testing. Okay, so coming to the performance testing introduction, guys. So I'm going to explain you what is performance testing, why it is required, and what are the different types of performance tests we conduct. Then the life cycle. So we have the software development life cycle, we have the software testing life cycle. Similarly, we have the performance testing life cycle, everyone. And in this performance testing life cycle, I'm going to explain you each and every phase in the performance testing life cycle, the different activities which are carried out in each and every phase, and then what is the entry criteria, what is the exit criteria for each phase, and what are the common challenges which you will encounter in a project, okay, whenever you are going through each and every phase of performance testing. Please remember, whenever I'm going to cover each and every topic, I'm going to also touch upon the interview questions which will be asked based on that topic. So you are updated with each and every topic as well as the interview questions related to it. And obviously, we are going to discuss the challenges, right? So you get the flavor of the real-time project experience as well. Then once we have covered the performance testing life cycle, the different phases of performance testing, the requirements, and the challenges, the activities, whatever you will carry out, then we will go to JMeter, everyone. So we'll understand a bit about the history of JMeter. What are the different protocols supported? Okay, who can tell me what is a protocol? Anyone? What is a protocol?
Protocol is a set of rules
Yeah, set of rules for what?
for any action to be performed or
Okay,
Protocol is set of rules to access the application.
okay. Anyone else?
It's a protocol to communicate between the client and server.
Okay. So protocol is, guys, it can be defined as a set of rules, right, which is used to communicate between the client and the server. So whenever someone said like we'll perform some action, so whenever you perform the action, you're acting as a client, right? And what action are you going to perform? You are basically, your objective is to interact with the server, right? So protocols are a set of rules which are used, or which have been defined, for effective communication, for proper communication between the client and the server. Then we'll learn about the different features of JMeter. JMeter is a very good performance testing tool, guys. So it has so many different features, because of which, it is it is the favorite among the performance test engineers. Then before we start using JMeter, we need to understand what are the prerequisites for installing JMeter. So we'll go through the prerequisites. And so JMeter is a performance testing tool based on the Java programming language, guys. Solution, that is either JDK or JRE. And then also we have to set up the Java environment variables. Okay. Once we are done with the prerequisites, we will then go to the downloading JMeter part. So we'll download JMeter, we'll install JMeter, we will launch JMeter. Here all of you. So by now we have set up JMeter on our system. But before jumping into JMeter, guys, there are some concepts which you should be aware. So some would be aware, some might not be aware. So we are going to cover some of those concepts also, which is very much required for you all to do proper performance testing. So I'm going to tell you about the browser developer tool, the HTTP HTML requests, embedded resources, what is a transaction, user action, cookies, cache, user session. Okay, so these are the concepts which I'm also going to explain to you all. And then primarily, most of the times, the protocol HTTPS request, what are the different components of a request, what is a response, again, what are the different components of response, headers, the different types of request methods, different response status codes. Okay, so these are the details which we are going to cover. So this is about the performance testing as well as JMeter introduction, guys. I'll take a small pause. Anyone has any queries? Anyone, any queries? No? Okay. Next, we are going to do the test script development with JMeter, guys. Okay. Next, we are going to see how to do the test script development with JMeter. And again, whenever I'm going to cover each and every topic, as I told, I'll be covering the interview questions. Along with that, regarding the JMeter certifications, right? So I'll be covering, what all questions you can expect from the different topics which we are covering, guys. Okay, so it will help you to clear the JMeter certificate. It is really easy, guys. Okay, you will be able to clear the JMeter certification very easily, and certifications add value to your resume, right? So maybe if you are looking for a new job or you are looking for a switch, so they really help. Coming to JMeter scripting. JMeter scripting means we are going to develop the test script. So there are different, things which we need to know, which we need to learn, right? When we want to develop these scripts. We do not write test cases. Remember, guys, we do not do manual test cases. We develop test scripts. That itself, carries more weightage, right, than your QA counterparts. So first we are going to know, because whenever we have to use a tool, we need to understand about that tool, we need to know about that tool, what are the different components in that tool. So there are 12 major elements. We'll learn what is the significance of those 12 major elements, how to use those elements. Okay, then we will see one of the another element, that is a non-test element, which is known as the HTTPS test script recorder. So in performance testing, what we do basically is, guys, we will be given some scenarios to test. That will be our performance testing scope. In functional testing, you have different scope, right? Similarly, in performance testing also, you will have the scope. What scenarios you have to test. So for those scenarios, you have to develop the test script. Now, scenarios means user flows. I hope you all understand. Can someone tell me some examples of user flows? Let's make these sessions interactive, guys. All the sessions will be interactive. Okay, it should not be only one-way communication. Can anyone give me some examples of user flows? What do you mean by user flows?
Like login, searching, and then logging out. That's the flow.
That's a flow. Very good. Anyone else?
Like
Searching the product in any
user
of the web
registration.
application or
Searching a
e-commerce.
product, registration, purchasing a product, right? Perfect. Anyone else?
If we have e-commerce application, we will do login. Uh, After that, we will search the product, add a product to the cart, and check out the product. In that, we before that we will give the price of that product, and we will check out, and we will get the thank you page.
Very good. So she has clearly elaborated the different steps, which are present in a purchase product user flow in an e-commerce application. Similarly, we could have book flight, we could have book hotels, book train tickets, right? Or cancel tickets, right? So there can be so many different user flows based on the domain of the application. If it is related to healthcare, you might want to book an appointment with a doctor, right? So based on the application domain, you will have different user flows. So whatever application you are doing the performance testing for, you will get the scenarios for performance testing from that particular application. Now, who will do the testing, guys? Who will do the performance test? Are you going to carry out the performance test, or the tool will carry out the performance test?
We testers need to test the application.
Now we'll test the application, but who is going to do the performance test? Means who will simulate the load, or what we
The
exactly
tool.
do? We are basically trying to simulate the load, right? For example, in performance test, we are, let me give an example. We have to do the test with 1000 users. Are we going to ask 1000 people and come and use the system and do the test for us? No, right? So the objective here is that the performance testing tool is going to generate those users. We call them as virtual users, right? So the performance testing tool will generate those users and will execute the test. Now in that execution, what it is going to do? It is going to simulate the user flows. Understand? Whatever user, can everyone go on mute? So whatever user flow is in our scope, the tool is going to simulate those user flows. So when it is going to simulate means it is going to execute those user flows. How the tool will know about that? So for that purpose, we have to record the scenarios. We have to record the user flows. So the HTTPS test script recorder element inside JMeter will be used to record the user flows or scenarios which are in our scope. So we'll understand the different attributes of the test script recorder element, the significance, okay, what are the best practices when we are using the test script recorder, guys. Now, in order to do the recording, we need to do the proxy server setup. Okay, there are so many interview questions related to the proxy server setup, and people are not able to explain, guys, the answers. I'll clearly explain you all in such a way that you will be able to clearly, answer the questions being asked on the proxy server setup and why it is done, guys. Okay, so we will understand that clearly, and then we will see how to record with different browsers. Okay, remember, each and every session is going to be demonstrated. Okay, every session is going to be demonstrated. Only some of the sessions in the beginning, right, like where we have the different phases, the different activities which we carry out, that will be a bit of theory for 2 to 3 sessions. But apart from that, each and every session will be practically demonstrated. Okay. So then we will see how to filter out irrelevant requests and embedded resources. So I'll explain that in this session. Then we need some JMeter certificate when we, the software, right? So it will have different files, different folders. So we'll go through the different files and the different folders, guys. What is the significance? Then we have the properties file in JMeter. So in the properties file, we define the configuration properties. Based on those configuration properties, the JMeter tool will function. So we are going to understand the JMeter properties file also, guys. Then we will see the JMeter plugin manager, how to install the plugins, how to uninstall the plugins. So what is a plugin? Means basically your JMeter will be having its core features, right? In addition to that, you can have additional features, as part of JMeter by using plugins. Plugins means they are additional piece of softwares which you can, use along with JMeter, guys. Okay, to enhance the capability of JMeter. So we'll see about JMeter plugins manager and the plugins installation and uninstallation. Okay. Then how to identify the scenarios for performance testing, that we are going to see, and then the transition flow documentation also. Okay, what is a transition flow, how to document it, so that we are going to see. Then we will do the test script recording. Okay, test script recording end to end for different user flows. We'll generate the script, and once you record this script, your script is not ready, guys. If only recording of the test script would be sufficient, everyone would become a performance tester, right? So once we do the recording, we have to do the enhancements. Okay, we have to do the enhancement of the test script. So what are the best practices for doing this test script development and enhancement? I'm going to cover, while the test script development is in progress. And then we come to very, very important topic, guys, which is the favorite of interviewers as well. That is correlation and parameterization. So I'll explain you the use cases, that why correlation, what is correlation, why correlation is required. Okay, so we'll clearly understand that in details. Similarly, parameterization concepts also we are going to understand. Then regular expression in JMeter. So this regular expression will be used for correlation, guys. So we are going to understand it. Similarly, we'll go to the CSV dataset config. The CSV dataset config will be used for parameterization. So we are going to understand it clearly, and we are also going to learn about random CSV dataset. Next is authorization tokens and their handling. So what are tokens or authorization tokens, to be specific? What is the problem they create? Okay, while test script development, and how to handle them. That we are going to see. Next, we are going to see the web services test design, guys. Okay, we are going to see the web services test design, and then what is web services test design? The API performance testing. We are going to also see the test script development of APIs, okay, as part of this training. So nowadays there are requirements for API performance testing also. So API performance testing is very easy, guys. Okay, so we'll discuss in details how to develop the test script for APIs also. Then we'll see the scope of JMeter elements and variables. What is local variable? What is global variable? What is relative path and absolute path? Any queries, anyone? Any queries, anyone till now? So these are the topics which
So
we are going to cover as part of test script development. Yeah,
like
please tell
like
me.
load runner doesn't support true client protocol or any other protocol that load runner has.
So there are multiple protocols of JMeter, but yes, to be specific, true client protocol is not available in JMeter. Okay, but yes, there are other protocols. So JMeter supports multiple protocols. We will see them in details when we are covering the features of JMeter.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you cover the client keys, client secret keys?
So I'll be explaining you about the authorization tokens, how to handle the authorization tokens.
Does that cover the client's secret keys?
No, client secret keys will not be covered.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
As part of web services test case design, the performance testing we are going to do with any API tool like Postman or
Now you're going to do with JMeter. JMeter will be used for doing performance testing of APIs as well. So we are going to do the API performance testing with JMeter.
oh,
Okay. Yeah.
So, is there a reason that you're not covering that client's secret keys in this in these sessions?
There is no specific reason. The point here is that means we want to cover this within a stipulated time, and there are so many things, right? Which means we cannot cover everything as part of the training.
Okay, because that
That's
plays an
that's the
important role also, right? Because of the changing values, how are we gonna handle those for authentication purposes?
yeah. So as I told you, with respect to authorization, once you understand about authorization tokens, you'll get the idea how to handle them as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other queries, anyone till now on the test script development part?
FTP and SAP protocol, are we going to cover it?
Sorry.
FTP and SAP protocol, are we going to cover it?
Yes, so that protocol will be covering that during the later sessions. FTP,
Okay.
SMTP, okay.
And SAP?
No, SAP will not be covered.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other queries? Okay, I request you all to please put in your name, full name, and WhatsApp number in the chat window, guys. Believe that none of you have provided, so I request you all to kindly put in that in the chat window so that we can share the required documents with you all.
Sir, are we
Okay.
going to
Then,
go in database part, database performance or database connection part?
yes, I'm going to explain about the database performance testing as well and the protocol required for that.
So, are we going to use SQL or Postgres for that?
So that will not be practically demonstrated. So
Mhm.
there I will be explaining the elements which will be used for the database performance system. How can you do that? So it will be applicable to each and every database. See, you have to think that we are learning JMeter here. We do not you do not have a dependency basically on the backend whatever is being used, right? You can use means whatever database you are using, you can use JMeter for doing the performance testing of that, right? So what is the process to do that? That we are going to cover as part of the JMeter training. Am I clear? So,
Yes.
okay, any other queries, anyone? Next, we will go and learn about BlazeMeter, guys. So why we need BlazeMeter? Okay. So I'll give you one introduction to BlazeMeter, and then I'll also explain you about the test script development with BlazeMeter. Why we might need BlazeMeter to develop the test scripts. In what all scenarios we might require it, or even if you do not require it, it is good to know how to do that. So I'm going to explain you how you can record your scripts, how you can develop your scripts with BlazeMeter. You're also going to learn about Kubernetes, Docker, microservices, micro frontends. So I'll explain you the about the microservices, Kubernetes, Docker, and then how we can do the test script development for microservices. Okay. And then we jump over to the JMeter test execution. We will learn about the think time and pacing. So think time and pacing are very crucial, guys. Whenever we are developing the scripts for our test execution purpose, and the load which we are trying to simulate on the servers. For that particular purpose, we have to design something known as workload model for each and every user flow or user scenario. Some people get confused with user distribution. They think user distribution and workload model design is same. No, they are completely different. So we are going to see workload model design as well as user distribution, guys. So again, what workload model is very important from your delivery point of view as well as your interview point of view. So I'll be clearly explaining the workload model design, and you can clear any interview questions based on that. Then we go to the test execution in non-GUI mode. Non-GUI mode is nothing but this command line interface mode. So JMeter has different modes, okay, like the GUI mode, the server mode, the non-GUI or the CLI mode. So you're going to see how to do the test execution with non-GUI mode along with its best practices. What is the Java heap size setting we have to do for JMeter, that we are going to see. Then we are going to understand about the test summarizer. Now, test summarizer is something which shows us the results during execution. Okay, the live results you can see. You can monitor the results. So we are going to understand the test summarizer, what are the different attributes of the test summarizer, and if we can increase or decrease the summarizer time. Okay. Then we are going to see how to stop basically a running test in non-GUI mode. If a test is already running, how can we stop that? Then how can you run your tests in GUI mode? But remember, guys, it is not recommended to do the test execution in GUI mode. However, you can do, means there is a JMeter allows you to do that. So how to do the test execution in GUI mode, and then how to generate the HTML report in GUI mode. HTML report generation in non-GUI will be covered as part of this test execution itself. Okay. Then we will learn about the JMeter HTML report, how to understand. So JMeter has the reporting capability also, guys. So it will be able to generate the test report for your test execution. So that is known as the JMeter HTML report. We are going to understand the JMeter HTML report, how to analyze the report, okay, and what are the key areas which we need to look at in the report. And also I'll tell you how you can change the response time values to seconds in the HTML report. Normally, JMeter will generate the timings in milliseconds. Okay, but milliseconds might not be convenient for you for reporting purpose. So how we can change the values to seconds. Then we come to a very important topic about JMeter functions. So we'll understand what are JMeter functions and what are the different functions available in JMeter. We'll go through the different JMeter functions, as well as there is an important function known as the P function, which is used for parameterizing the the tests from the CLI as well. So we'll be using the P function to parameterize our tests from CLI. Then very important concept, that is the distributed load testing concept. Okay, distributed load testing concept, or it is otherwise known as the master slave concept, or controller and worker node concept. So we are going to learn in details what is distributed load testing, how to implement distributed load testing with JMeter, what are the steps, and that will also be practically demonstrated, guys. Then we come to test execution and reporting, and then very important feature of JMeter, how we can do test execution with bandwidth throttling. Many people are not even aware, guys, if we can do this or not with JMeter. So I'll be also showing that how to do the test execution with bandwidth throttling. Bandwidth throttling means changing the, or varying the bandwidth, network bandwidth, and performing your tests so as to understand the effect of, network bandwidth on your performance results. Okay. So these are the different topics which we are going to cover as part of JMeter test execution. Any queries, anyone? Okay.
Are we going to cover how to analyze the logs?
Yes. So the how to analyze the logs, how to means what in this test execution reporting. Okay. How you will analyze your test results. Those we are going to understand.
With any analyzing tool?
No, a specific analyzing tool will not be covered as part of this training. Okay, but yes, how to analyze the application logs. So different tools could be available in your projects. The concept is very much important, guys. The fundamental concepts are very much important, so you need to know them, and then using a tool is always easy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other queries, anyone, on the topics which I have covered till now? Okay. So then we are going to learn about each and every JMeter element, sub-element, and their attributes in detail. So whatever elements, so there are so many different elements, right, in JMeter. Whatever elements we would have covered by now, well and good. Whatever would be left, that we are going to cover, guys, then. Okay. So we will see in details what is a test plan, what are non-test elements, then what is a thread group, what are the different thread groups, okay, and different elements of thread group. Then controller elements. In controller, we have so many different logic controllers, so that I'll explain how to use them in scripts, so you get different interview questions on that as well. And also in the certification you get the questions based on that. Then the sampler elements, config elements, assertion elements, timer elements, okay, listener elements, pre-processor and post-processor. So you get interview questions, certification questions on pre-processor and post-processor also. So these are very important topics, guys. So we are going to cover each and every one of them in details. Any queries, anyone? So this will basically cover the different JMeter elements. What is the significance? How are they going to be used? Okay. Then we come to the advanced topics, Groovy scripting. Okay, Groovy scripting. So JMeter supports custom coding, and you can use different scripting languages to do the custom code. As part of this training, we are going to cover Groovy, and the Apache Software Foundation also recommends to use Groovy with JMeter. So you are going to learn about, I'll give you an introduction to Groovy and the JSR 223 element, why it is called JSR 223, that also I'll explain. Then we are going to see the comments, prints, variables, operators, variables, and some real life examples from Groovy, guys. Okay, so these are the things which we are going to cover as part of the Groovy scripting. And then we are going to see Dynatrace. So I'll explain you about Dynatrace, and then I'll also cover the different modules inside Dynatrace which are required for a performance test engineer to analyze the performance tests. Now some of you, again, some will ask, are we covering AppDynamics, right? Are we covering New Relic? So the point here is, whatever tool, let's say tomorrow some people will have AppDynamics in their project, some people will have Dynatrace in their project, right? So it depends on the project to project again, like whatever tool is available in the project. But as part of this training, we are going to cover Dynatrace. Once you understand Dynatrace, once you understand the concepts, you get an idea, right, how to use an application performance monitoring tool. So based on that, you should be able to use other tools also, guys. We're going to learn about Dynatrace, whatever modules will be required for a performance test engineer. I'm going to cover that. And then the integration of JMeter with Dynatrace, how we can integrate JMeter with Dynatrace, that also I'm going to cover. Next is InfluxDB and Grafana integration of JMeter. Okay, so this is also very important, guys. So what is InfluxDB, what is Grafana, that I'm going to cover, and how to integrate JMeter with InfluxDB and Grafana. Here, all of you. Next is Jenkins integration. So CI/CD pipelines, as we know, nowadays most of the projects try to implement them. So I'll explain you about Jenkins, and then I'll explain you what is CI/CD, versioning control, pipelines, right? And then I'll also tell you how to integrate JMeter with Jenkins. Okay, so these are the list of topics which we are going to cover as part of this exclusive training, JMeter Beginner to Master with Groovy, Dynatrace, Kubernetes, Docker, InfluxDB, Grafana, Jenkins, and BlazeMeter. Any queries, anyone?
When the actual class starts on 12th?
The course today was the demo session. The day one or the first session will start from tomorrow. So means, in fact, I'm going to cover some of the topics today as well. But yes, today is the demo session, and from tomorrow we'll have the regular sessions.
Got it.
Yeah.
And this training, are we going to cover like how we can create a test plan and test estimations? Because as part of performance we have a different level years of experience people. Some people go work as a senior tester or the lead. So we have to prepare the test estimations also. So at least we are going to cover on the estimation part also.
So as part of this training, I'll be only explaining you the different activities which we carry out, but in detail how to do the test effort estimation and all, that will not be covered as part of this training. This training actually focuses on, learning JMeter, becoming an expertise on JMeter. So the training will revolve around that. But yes, along with that, I give the details about the different activities, different phases. But yes, to answer your question specifically, test effort estimation will not be covered. Those are not, very difficult tasks, I believe. So they can be easily done by a person who has that relevant experience. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone?
And is there any like an intent kind of a flow or projects are we going to cover as part of this training? Like,
No. So for
this
for
full learning is
projects,
fine. Yeah.
yes. Okay. Let me come to that. And that is a valid question. So for project experience, like because in a project we do other deliverables also, like you were saying about test effort estimation. Along with that, we document the test strategy, test plan, right? We develop the scripts, we execute, we analyze the results, we will then create the test report. So for that, we have another exclusive training, that is the JMeter real-time project. So over there, we actually do the tasks which we carry out in the project. So as I told you, JMeter is again a vast tool, right? So we have to cover the training in 45 to 50 hours. So we cannot club everything in one, and that will not be able to cover in 2.5 months. So that is why, based on the objective, based on the target audience, we have curated different trainings. So the one which you asked for, that is being covered as part of the JMeter real-time project.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
So during the training, so are we going to use only the demo applications or any real-time applications also will be
So
performing?
different applications will be used. Different applications will be used, but yes, they will be sample applications only.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, you will be able to understand each and every concept, whatever I have listed out in this course curriculum. Each and every topic will be demonstrated. You will be able to understand the concept, and then based on that, whatever application you get in project, you should be able to do that. I hope you understand. Yeah. Any other queries, anyone? Any other queries? Okay. So all of you can go through this link in details, guys. Okay. If you have any doubts regarding the course curriculum and all, you can refer this link. And if you still have any queries, feel free to put your queries in the WhatsApp group which has been created. Okay. And if you have any other queries also, like how to register for the course, all those things also, you can put your queries in the group, guys. So we'll start for today, guys. Okay. So we'll start with the topics today. So I'll give you some hints. So let me start the deck. One moment. Whoever has not provided your full name and WhatsApp number, I'll request you all to please put it in the chat window, because all the different documents, whatever, we'll be sharing with you all. So please do that. Remember, guys, each and every session is going to be recorded. You are going to have the lifetime access to the recorded videos, the training materials, the interview questions, everything will be shared. Whatever I'll be demonstrating in the sessions also, whatever scripts we develop, everything will be shared with you all. Okay. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
let us get started with the exclusive training JMeter Beginner to Master with Groovy, Dynatrace, Kubernetes, Docker, InfluxDB, Grafana, Jenkins, and BlazeMeter. I have already introduced myself, so let us go to the next one. I will be providing some hints now, some pointers. Okay, you all have to tell me, okay, that they belong to which field of testing, or they can be verified using which testing, or what testing do you need to conduct in order to verify those pointers. Okay, guys, the first one, the day of exam results publication, guys. So, like how our childhood was, right? Nowadays, the applications are a bit better, but still, let's say if so means it is a huge exam, right? So many parties, so many students have appeared for the exam, and you want to view the results on the day of the exam results publication, right? Then Tatkal ticket booking. So whoever is in India, they would be aware of this Tatkal ticket. Who is not aware, let me just explain you. Tatkal ticket is basically the emergency train ticket booking system in India. Okay, you can book the emergency tickets one day prior, but as you know, India is a you know a hugely populated country, so what it would be taking to book that emergency tickets. Then, if there is a festive sale from an e-commerce application, okay, so how can you basically test that? So these are some of the pointers related to some of the kind of testing which will be required. Next, guys, will my infrastructure work in production? Will my infrastructure, whatever infrastructure has been proposed for my project, right, or for the application, so is that going to work in production or not? How will my data centers operate in case of an earthquake, right? So they, I need to continue my business, right? I need to continue operating my application. My application should be able to cater to the customers even though there is an earthquake. So how can I do ensure that? Can my application be hacked? Is there any data security breach in my application? Are there any malwares, right? How can I ensure? How do I verify these things? Will my application be compatible with different browsers? Can my application be accessed by differently abled persons? So guys, all of you can see here, I have given 4 different boxes, right? This is number 1, this is number 2, this is number 3, this is number 4, guys. Here, so who can help me with the different types of tests which we need to conduct to verify these different types of scenarios, guys? So number 1, guys, who can tell me what kind of tests will we conduct?
We can do
Okay.
smoke testing,
Load testing.
functional testing,
Okay,
load testing, and second one security testing.
okay,
What
Third
is
For
one,
scalability?
first one is load and spike, and third is security pen testing.
okay.
Fourth
second
is
one is
integration,
Fourth
functional.
is in fourth
infra.
is integration. Okay.
Reliability.
Sorry, can you please come
Integration
again?
and reliability. Reliability.
For which one?
Fourth one is compatible and reliability testing.
Reliability. Okay. Anyone else?
Fourth one accessibility testing.
Very good. Okay. Anyone else? One, two, three, four. Okay. So no other answers? So let us see the answers, guys. So what kind of testing is really required for this kind of scenarios, right? So that was the question. all of you see guys, please observe all these scenarios. Okay, all these scenarios, whatever I have listed down here, I am nowhere verifying the functionality. Okay, I'm not verifying the functionality here. So these all different scenarios can be tested using different types of non-functional testing. Non-functional testing. Okay, there are different types of non-functional testing. The first one, the first box which I had listed, day of exam results publication, right? E-commerce festive sale, Tatkal ticket booking, I will do with the help of performance testing. Some of you told load testing, spike testing, well and good. They are the categories of performance testing. But overall, it is performance testing, guys, right? So I will conduct performance testing to verify that. Next, site reliability or operational acceptance testing is another type of non-functional testing. You all would have seen positions related to site reliability engineers or operational acceptance testing engineers. So the one which I had told about, how will my data centers operate in case of an earthquake, right? Then will the infrastructure work in production or not? Here all of you, this one, the second box. So for that, we will use site reliability testing or the operational acceptance testing. Third one, I think all of you are able to tell, that was security testing or penetration testing is also one category of security testing again, right? Next, the fourth box, I had 2 points. Will my application be compatible with different browsers? So that we do the browser compatibility testing, guys. Okay, again, browser compatibility testing is a type of non-functional testing. Can my application be accessed by differently abled persons? That will be done as part of accessibility testing. In India, there might not be very strict guidelines related to accessibility testing, but if you go to the US, to UK, and other developed Western countries, so you will find strict guidelines for accessibility, because, and that should be the case, guys. Everyone has a right to use computers, right? So specially abled persons should also be able to use the computer, the applications and all. So you need to verify whether the application can be used by them or not. So for that particular purpose, there are strict guidelines related to accessibility, and the application owners need to implement them. So these are the different types of non-functional testing, okay, which exist. And out of that, we are going to focus on performance testing as part of this training. Any queries, anyone? Any queries, anyone? Okay. So I think we have run out of time for today. So we will stop the session here today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the demo session of the exclusive training JMeter Beginner to Master with Groovy, Dynatrace, Kubernetes, Docker, InfluxDB, Grafana, Jenkins, and BlazeMeter. Thank you all for joining the demo session. If you have any queries, please do reach out to us. Feel free to put your queries in the group, and this would be clarified. Thank you all for joining.